presentation. Right. Okay, so building your brand here. Let me get this into presentation mode really quick. Actually want to touch on this quick app. It's called Gamma.app. If you guys are interested in building any presentations, this is what mine is currently hosted on. It's an AI presentation. We've done a class on this too. Super helpful. But to get started, just quick notes on branding. So, your branding is not just your logo, it's not just your design, but it's everything that comes with your brand, your business, how you operate, your values. It goes a lot deeper than that. And if you're also following Simi's class, attending that too, she talks a lot about branding and using AI. She just had a class yesterday and has mentioned a lot about this too. But I really want to talk about how to build everything piece by piece. So let's get started with that. Again, any ideas you have, feel free to jump off of mute and shout them out or drop them in the chat. And when I get a quick second, I'll be able to check on that. So, what we want to start today is a document that you will host on all of your different platforms. So, in the chat, I see a lot of people have been using Claude and Gemini. Not a lot of people are using ChatGPT. I think it's kind of been the first big platform to make this all familiar to everyone. And there are a lot of newer large language models that have seemed to be a little bit more uh, intuitive and provide a lot more detail. So I do agree with most of the people on the chat here that Claude is uh, a new large language model that is definitely much better in my opinion. Things may change. I've seen actually ChatGPT work a lot better for different things. So there's where we want to kind of decide which app or which large language model do we want to use first and stick with that. Building your foundation in that app requires creating this living document that we'll talk a lot about today. Building this document, what to include in it, and then we'll be uploading it into the software itself so that it could be utilized as a guideline for whenever you are using AI to create captions, to create documents, maybe a response to an email. It will be much more in tune with who you are if we create this outline first. So I hope that makes sense. And so who we are, who we serve, and what you say and how you say it are super important to outline here and to be very specific. This document doesn't have to be long and it will grow over time. So it's not going to stay the same. I want you to take a few minutes, if you can, to write these questions out and answer them. They will change, but it's best if you do it in the moment, right now, where you are. Who do I serve? Be very specific about who you serve, whether it's their first time home buyers or investors. Where do they live? Identifying what they struggle with, uh, their pain points, what their fears are, what their goals are. That's what you can outline in this brand foundation. Question number one and question number two. What do they struggle with that I can solve? Make it a simple statement. Doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be too in depth yet. It would be great if you can be very specific. It will be to your benefit. What do I stand for beyond great service? So people buy from you, not the product or service. What do you do that you know is great? You're personalized with everything you do, your approach to creating a plan and marketing plan for that person, or even if it's setting up their home, if you have experience with renovations, you have experience with helping your parents move into a bigger home. What does that look like? What does working with you look like? How do you want people to feel after seeing your content or reading your blogs, your emails? This kind of goes into the tonality that we want to highlight in everything that we do and how we conversate. It may seem like it's not that big of a deal to say, oh, I like my content to feel more or sound more exciting because I'm fun, I'm lively. I want it to say things like, hey girl. I want it to say things like whatever it is. You decide. What would I never say could also be a really good category that'll help you build your content and iron out what ChatGPT or the large language models give back to you. I want every caption or every copy to be precise, short, simple, quick, info, attention grabbing in the beginning. What are those things that you can say? It would also help if you are building this out to grab a copy of an email that you wrote that says a lot about how you communicate. Could be a long email to a client, it could be an email to introduce yourself to new people, or maybe you're making that initial connection and saying, hi, my name is JC, this is what I do, I'm so glad we met at the open house. This is my specialty and I'm really excited that you're interested. That type of email says more about you than what you can write in the moment. So it'd be awesome to just maybe capture a snippet of that and include it while you're building out this questionnaire. So again, you're building out the questionnaire in ChatGPT or your large language model of choice, answering these questions. So start here, answering these questions. I'm building out a brand, and I'll follow along. I'll follow up with a prompt that you can use to get this started. But on your scratch paper, it's probably easiest to just write this out. Let's move on. I see it. Stacy in the chat. These are great points. Making sure that your AI knows your tone of voice is so important, so it doesn't sound robotic. You can literally say it. I don't want it to sound robotic or automated. I want it to sound like I'm talking to a friend. Yes, I like to give examples of the way I talk. I like to say that too. And also, I'm talking to a friend is a big safe space around all the things that I'm saying, whether it's technical or not, how I'm presenting, how I'm writing out scripts, how I'm writing out blogs. This is a more for copy and how to iron out your brand in its tone than the aesthetic of your brand. But we also can talk about that later. The way your brand is translated is so important these days to make you different and to make you unique and show that value that you have to offer aside from the work that you do. So to use AI not to think, not to use AI to think, not just write. So these are examples of prompts that are not as great and prompts that can really help you be specific. There's a science to it. Identify the audience, the tone, emotion, and goal with every prompt you create. Whatever it is, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to start perfect, but as long as you identify your audience, your tone, the emotion, and the goal of what you want the LLM to deliver to you. I want it delivered as a basic bullet points, even if you want it in that form, so you can build off of it. Again, the AI is useful best when it's is best used for when it's to help you strategize and build, and it's your goal to make it sound more like you, to make it unique. Here are the three pillars that I advise you look into in terms of building your brand: personal, authority building, and community. So these three pillars, creating content, talking about this in your brand, would be really helpful to translate not only what you do, but who you are. Does anybody have any questions? This is going to go deeper into a lot more things. And so I just want to get a quick feedback and see, does this make sense? Does this answer the questions that you've had? Does it help? Maybe we can go deeper. Do you have any more questions? I'm putting everybody on the spot so I can drink water. Do you guys look up typically, or what do you use AI for? Have you asked it to help you build out some graphics? Are we starting fresh? Everybody here is starting fresh. So let's just continue on. Okay. So as we're building up our brand, answering, thank you, Irene. As we're building out the brand, identifying this living or creating a living document that identifies all of these things. When you answer all these questions, just ask the LLM to create a PDF version of this so that you can save it, as long as you are happy with the guide itself. Assuming that you've already created that document and uploaded it into your LLM, I'll show you how to do that too. I'll have to switch screens so that'll give me, that'll kind of break my flow of going through all of this. So I actually want to wait till after to go through the example, but keeping in mind that we are done creating that living document that will be uploaded. Here are the things that we can now ask AI to do. Build a month of content with AI. Review and personalize documents. Identify your pillars and go deeper into your brand. Build out your content plan. So many things. Create your newsletter. But you will see that you will ask ChatGPT or Claude much less to rewrite what it gives you. So that's the whole point, is to create a guide that identifies all of the different things that make your brand yours. And from that point on, creating specific projects. If you don't know, if you haven't gone as far as to creating projects, you can. There's specific folders that you can create a criteria for. So this would be that guideline for your projects within Claude or ChatGPT that helps you do all of these much better. Copy these prompts. This would be the moment to take a screenshot to create more clarity for your brand. You've answered the questions, you created the living document. We uploaded that into ChatGPT, and these are the things you want to ask it going forward to create a brand kit, to identify what to do with your content. And I want to just bring back to the forefront the idea that this will change, and it is healthy that this changes. The pillars, 1, 2, and 3 on the content plan prompt on the right, that may not be the same 6 months down the road for you. But starting off with your personality and community focused and educational content is the bare minimum. Creating different kinds of content, yes, you'll probably figure out later down the road whether or not you like reels or would prefer doing carousels, if that makes work creating your content from your newsletter easier. That approach changes too. Okay. What to keep and what to change. When you're building your brand, going back and forth with the large language model, asking it to uh, make this better, sharpen this up. I want it to sound more like this, all of that. At the end, I still want you to take that final copy that you're happy with and make it yours. Add in any information that you know, make it literally sound like you talking to a friend. In my experience, that makes content much more easier to consume, especially online. Emails these days are written very simple as well, especially if you're building a newsletter, keeping that short, simple, sweet, containing real stories, actual results, those will never come from AI. And that's the cherry on top that you need to keep in mind. Make it yours. Okay. Your one page brand guide should identify who you serve, be specific, what you stand for, great service. I just finished reading this book, uh, Prove It. It's by a gal who is being mentored by Phil Jones, I believe, and he is also in the book if you download it on Audible. And it talks a lot about how you can differentiate yourself from your competitors, whether it's you provide great service, whether it's your service is quick, convenient. What are those things that set you apart? And believe it or not, major companies like Zapier, Uber, all live off of that statement. They live by that statement, that tagline of theirs that showcases what they do best, what they provide best, what kind of service they stand for, or what values they stand for, rather. Your pillars, that again, I think I've talked a lot about pillars and how it can change. This is a doc that will change over time. Your tone, that may also change 6 months down the road, not 2, 3 weeks down the road. But your goal is to answer the 5 questions above, 6 actually. Instagram bio. That's a new one. Action items, answer the 5 initial questions at the beginning of this class. Run the brand clarity prompt, run the content plan prompt, and now utilize that as a foundation to start building, and don't stop until you've reached at least week 4. If it gives you a list of content ideas for the entire month, please at least give it all a shot and try as much to be as consistent as possible. In terms of social media, in terms of email marketing, whatever you do now and going forward after ironing out your brand is where you start building familiarity with your audience, whether it's the people who are consuming your content online, or if they are reading your content, they want that familiarity too. And they want you, believe it or not, to be consistent. Even if they don't say it, it helps you build your brand forward. building that repetition and making it a goal, that you're showing up, and people will remember. They will definitely remember you more. Personalize every AI prompt, build your one-page guide, and if you want to share and tag me, happy to like, follow, and comment and support you, because that also shares and builds up your credibility within the algorithm. Um, it's not always about follows, it's definitely more about engagement and being able to build consistent engagement online. I'm going to stop sharing, and if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. Anything stand out to you while I bring up chat?
Hi, JC.
I
I liked what you mentioned about like being open and sharing things like with you too, and like that you would like it and like engage with it. Some of my friends who've like tried to launch their own like little social media stuff, they ask like their good friends like us to also like and like comment and stuff, like even if it's something short, because that kind of boosts everything, and it's a good way to like support your friends. So it's a really cool thing to kind of reach out to your own little network to support you when you're getting started, and then obviously like work from there. But talk to your people and be like, hey, like I know you love me, support me in this way too.
exactly, it helps. It's easy and it's quick.
Yeah, it's super quick, and it's not like emotionally or like physically taxing at all to just be like, hey, I'm supporting my friend online and this is going to help them build their career and their like social media.
Like, this is the way you can show up for me at the bare minimum, right? Show support in that way.
Yeah,
I
great
believe it. I
points.
believe it. Oh, thank you. Stacy, so great seeing you yesterday. Thank you. I'm gonna share ChatGPT in just a second. Right now, I'm just logging in, and then I'll share my screen. But anybody else want to come off of mute? I can't see the chat right now. Awesome. Any advice on how to use AI for lead generation? I can't dive into that. Stacy, do you have any recommendations on how to build AI with or use AI for lead generation other than farming? Because I've kind of done that before, but it doesn't work anymore. It's like if you farm a specific area, I've like asked it to look for data in a specific neighborhood,
Yeah, I'm
but
not
that doesn't.
exactly sure. Like, it's not really up my alley to like be lead generating, but I think in general, like if you're able to use AI to help you make like a schedule for lead generation, like when you should do it, or like what are like good talking points and stuff like that. I'm not too sure about like actually getting leads through it. But in terms of like preparing yourself when you do make those calls, or like making yourself a schedule like through AI that can help you like be more productive, that could also help. So in terms of like lead generation of like actually getting leads, I'm not too sure, but like being able to optimize your time when you're doing lead generation could definitely AI can definitely help with that.
Right. That just reminded me to script practice with AI,
Mhm.
not just finding people, but how you're approaching that, making um, a list of questions that you can ask when you are in conversation with that lead. That would be the way I would use AI immediately and for lead generation. And also, yes, building up a schedule, because it could create a CSV file that you can upload into your Google Calendar, and it'll time block your entire calendar for you if you wanted. That one was that was game changer for me. There's another thing too that would definitely help, but in a different way in terms of us looking online and asking for resources and recommendations. The large language model can recommend you as a realtor, as an expert in the specific area. If you're, and this involves a little bit of a buildup of a lot of different topics, but at the core of it, basically, if you want to be recommended by AI, if somebody is looking for a real estate agent in the Seattle area, your goal should be to be present on as many websites as possible so that your name comes up more frequent in the SEO.
We
So
had a
then,
presenter, oh sorry, we had a
go ahead.
presenter for a company called Home Stories AI. They are integrating with Command. And they mentioned that like for AI, they do a lot of AI like training and stuff. They mentioned that like actually like Instagram and like Facebook aren't always the best options for getting your name to pop up in AI like searches. It's actually like the AI looks through YouTube videos and YouTube shorts to try to find that kind of information and recommendations through comments and like Reddit and stuff like that because sometimes Instagram has like I think Meta has a little bit higher walls for AI like data like searching. So they recommended that like besides like using their service and whatever, but they kind of recommended that people look for stuff on YouTube especially, and YouTube is a giant platform that a lot of people when they think of like marketing or like using social media, they don't always remember that YouTube is something that AI looks through. So that's also a good point too. You could definitely go through as many platforms as possible, but even AI asking like where do you find the information best or what is the best platform for like what I'm trying to do is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get them to come and teach at our market center?
I sent I think I sent the information to you, but I'm happy to send over their contact information. They had a really good presentation.
Amazing. Yes, I forgot about that. I don't know where it was, and I didn't know that was what that you sent me. So
Yeah.
yes, okay, perfect. I will jump into my projects and share my screen real quick. Give me one moment. I'm gonna pull up Gemini since I forgot that was one that we also like to use. So in this tutorial, I'll just go over the 3 different large language models and the projects, how to upload your living document that we just created today. In the process that you're creating this, if you have any questions, want to run that by either of us, I'm going to volunteer Stacy because I know she's awesome and she is super helpful in and knowledgeable in AI. Uh, she works at the North Seattle office, so I was able to see her yesterday. Stop. Ready? Okay, I'm going to try sharing my screen one more time. Mm, okay. It looks like I'm able to log into Gemini. I'm going to share what I have now for the sake of time. We're going to be looking at Claude and ChatGPT. So, ChatGPT here on the screen, if you guys can see on the left hand side, this is my main page in new chat. So, once you log in, this is where you typically arrive. And it's almost always in thinking mode. You can try to do pro, or I think before they had something like a research feature. So play around with that if you want to get more specific or ask chat to go deeper into data. You would probably want to go for a more pro or a different settings. But just to start, our questions work great with the thinking mode if you want to do that. But what I would do first is start a project. So I have pinned, those are the pinned apps that I found through here. And right below that, there's projects. So in projects, I want to click on the plus button and start my project. So Tech Thursday. Create project. Click into the project. And now I have my chat and then sources. Underneath the chat box, I have chat for my history and then sources. So I want to bring that document that I created, or I can start answering the questions through here, ask it to create, well, while I'm in chat, create a um, guide based off of your answers to those 5 questions that we were talking about earlier. And once you have that PDF and downloadable where you want it to be, upload it here through the add sources button. You can upload it. You can put it on your Google Drive and upload it through there if you have it connected. Or you could add just a simple text input, copy and paste, whatever feels most comfortable to you. I think the quick upload from your desktop works easiest for me. And that's about it. Anytime you're going in to do any work related to your brand, creating copy, start using your projects and only work off of that folder. Because over time, it will begin to recognize with every chat that you're building. And if you feel like you reach a point where you are asking more, asking chat to clarify more, and to do it like this, and let's say you're creating a newsletter and you completely want to reformat your newsletter, at the end of every new experiment you're doing, ask it to create a guide and use that guide in your sources. Drop it in here and have it continue to iron out all of your copy. Let's look at the Claude version really quick before I let you guys go or open up the floor for questions. Once you log in, on the left nav bar, third down after the plus sign, you will see projects. So I'll share you what my projects look like here. I have a ton of different projects. You'll see they're similar to the ones. These are all different brands and they have different documents. So they're very specific. Do I want to create one for Tech Thursday for today? Do I want to describe my projects, goals? Yes, you can do that. I think that's a new feature. And you want to keep that private, create a project, and then you are ready to start using this tool. For this, it looks a little different. For sources, instead of sources, you add files towards the right-hand side of the screen. This is where you'll upload your living document. You can upload instructions to tailor Claude's responses through this box as well for a more copy and paste text format. That's right above the files box. And then and again, any activity from chats that you have are going to fall underneath this tab or this search bar. We have Medium. Okay, so they have a haiku version for quick answers. I like that. I like that. Okay. As you can see, I'm always surprised at these little details, even if I'm in this and use this as much as I do, which is a lot during the day. I still find things that I've never seen before. So there are different ways that you can also create a criteria. If anybody is still using ChatGPT, there's definitely more ways to just create or edit your brand or project. Uh, and that will probably always change. But what I know for sure is this sources box that we just covered today is not going to go away. So better to be safe with that reliable way of uploading your documents than to try to look for all of the other details and filters and stuff in my experience. So yeah.
We get Gemini, I believe it's Gemini Pro or like a pretty good like higher level of Gemini through the KW email. And you can do something similar through Gemini, or at least while you're kind of like figuring out like whether or not you like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude a little bit easier. But they have kind of the same projects area through Gemini. They're called gems, and you can create like a new gem and like name it, give it instructions, upload files for like through knowledge. So like the set that you made, or like the information that you put together, you can do it that way and then continuously update as well.
Do you mind if you have yours open? Do you want to
Yeah,
share
sure.
yours? Sweet. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't,
sure.
this is where I have to stop myself because if I started using it, I stopped using it, I couldn't log into my account. And then so
Yeah,
I'm more
sure.
comfortable with Claude. So let me make you a host real quick. Hold on.
No worries. Yeah, I can show it really fast.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. I've used it to show our like team a couple of different things that they could do with it, including like writing like a real like be a real estate assistant to help like write listing or descriptions. And when I was doing that, I worked with them at the time. Sorry, it's on the left side, gems, and you can edit it and add like the tone that you want, tasks, constraints, all that kind of thing. It's like reminder, you need to do this. Um, and then you can name it whatever you want. It's really, really simple. So you add a new gem and then you put in all of the instructions that you want to type out, but you can also add a file from the drive or upload a file this way. And then it kind of works in a similar way to how the other AI platforms work. But if you wanted to kind of get a little foot in while like not having to pay for it, while you're trying to figure out which AI platform you like better, um, this is a free one that we get through our KW email.
Again with Google, right?
Yep. Yep. I've logged in. I think I'm currently logged in through like my Ben Kinney email, but you can log in kind of the same way as you would log into your KW email.
Which platform is good for what? Better for content, images, gathering. Do you use for different tasks? I can go first, Stacey. You'll go next.
I don't have an answer, but
Yeah. I have I've liked ChatGPT for images. I started off using Gemini for images, and ChatGPT seems to be better. For data gathering, Claude does more research, I think, on a broader scale. Everything on ChatGPT always sounds the same, even if it's like in my tone. I find it really uh, uh, standardized with its own tone with ChatGPT. Claude, I like Claude for copy a lot. Do I use it for different tasks? Yes. We've kind of explored building some AI like agents. So that's been cool, but also creating a calendar sequence or like blocks, time blocks in my calendar. I started off with ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT to build a schedule and asked for a CSV file so I can upload it into Calendar. That was dope. That was cool. Stacy, what about you?
honestly, I kind of use I kind of use mostly either ChatGPT or Gemini. Just I mean, Gemini is, I think, because it's like linked to Google, it works better for like asking any kind of questions about any of the Google Suite like functions and like trying to like get more involved with like making better spreadsheets or integrating that way because I think it knows a little bit more on the back end of that. But in terms of actually like creating content and images and gathering data, I'm not exactly sure because I don't think I've really done a lot of um, that kind of research throughout the different apps and compared it like side by side.
Mm, yeah, it gets a little overwhelming to try to do it all through different apps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, I don't usually need to dig that deep into anything. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but I have heard that Claude does like research things a little bit like broader. And a lot of like the AI companies like to use Claude for that kind of thing.
Yeah, agree. Thank you for your question. Alrighty. Well, if everybody is feeling good about the information, happy to see you guys next week. We'll be dropping the July. We actually have a whole year of classes. We just need to pump out those graphics for them and very excited. Very excited. Hope to see you guys next week. Have a great rest of the day.
Bye, JC. Thank you.
Bye, Stacy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.